This is Channel 25 WVTT Olean. Now, from the Twin Tiers' biggest broadcast news operation, this is the 6 o'clock report with Jeff Andrulonis and Alexa Olson. Listen on News Radio 96.7 WVTT or watch on News Channel 25 WVTT television. WVTT proudly presents the 6 o'clock report.
Good evening, I'm Alexa Olson.
And I'm Jeff Andrulonis. Good evening. The big story tonight on the 6 o'clock report, new information into WVTT concerning last night's murder-suicide in Cuba. Alexa.
That's right, Jeff. A dispute and a previous restraining order violation between neighbors led to a murder-suicide Tuesday afternoon, according to authorities. Police have identified the gunman, Thomas Yergi, a full-time resident of Cuba, shot and killed his neighbor's wife, Susan Babcock, a seasonal resident from Bolivar, multiple times with two different weapons, including a shot to the back of the head. According to police, Yergi felt regret after the slaughter, grabbed his dog, fled to a nearby camp, shot his dog, and then turned the gun on himself. A total of 3 weapons were confiscated. According to Cuba police, a man had come into the police station saying that he had received a phone call at 3:45 p.m. by Yergi confessing that he did something bad. The last thing he said was that he wanted to say goodbye. Cuba police arrived to the scene just 10 minutes later and found what they call a gruesome scene.
Following a 9-hour investigation and several-hour manhunt, the suspect, 69-year-old Thomas Yergi, 30 South Shore Road in the town of Cuba, New York, was found deceased with a self-inflicted gunshot wound at a seasonal camp just down the road from South Shore. Minor feuds over parking issues, things of that nature. Like I said, nothing that we thought would ever come to this point. You know, this was just a sheer tragedy, and it shouldn't reflect obviously on the community and the lake, but you know, these things do happen at times, and it's very unfortunate. And you know, the police department, obviously, here at the police department, we feel, you know, terrible for the victim, and but the community is a very nice community up on the lake and in the town.
Meanwhile, things are getting back to normal on East State Street in Olean tonight following a gas leak earlier today. Crews working on the East State Street reconstruction project busted that gas line near the Gunther Funeral Home. All traffic was blocked off in that immediate area and was rerouted. A National Grid truck rushed to the scene. It was reported that about 7 homes were without gas this morning. WVTT went to the scene earlier today to get an update.
Well, 7 customers are without gas this morning after a contractor from the East State Street construction hit a gas pipe, causing it to burst this morning around 9 a.m.
We got everybody back in their houses as quick as possible, but everything went okay.
The natural gas company arrived shortly after, and around 10 have confirmed the gas line has been shut off.
A contractor hit a line here on East State Street, and we are able to shut it off fairly quickly.
No gas has been detected in the housing and businesses that surround the area of the pipe. It's unclear how long it will take before the gas gets up and running for the customers without it. I'm Derek Smith off East State Street, WVTT.
The Cattaraugus County SPCA drama continued last night, but not outside their shelter in Hinsdale. Olean City Council meeting last night was the stage for the ongoing drama. A dispute that lasted more than 2 hours launched into a full debate when both sides of each party stood up and shared their side of the story. At one point, folks were leaving momentarily to relieve their anger. WVTT's Derek Smith was there. He got a first-hand account of what went on.
The protesting outside of SPCA Cattaraugus County Animal Shelter moved from the streets inside the Common Council meeting. Tuesday evening in Olean, Common Council members were in the middle of a heavy dispute between SPCA board members and Animal Allies activist group.
There's a line of us ready to volunteer. If you need board members, there's a line of us ready to get on board. If you need help with your animals, we have people in place for these animals.
We're requesting it tonight, and the people here will speak on this to substantiate this this request, is to immediately put in the 30 days and terminate this contract.
The activist group demanded the city terminate the contract immediately that they have with SPCA. However, SPCA members piled in the meeting to back up the accusations against all of the dispute.
I've seen shelters. I've seen shelters in New York and in other states. It's an old building.
Of course, it's an old building. There's going to be some rust, but the floors are clean. If you get down and look at them, they're clean. The animals are well taken care of.
Due to the fact that many people involved with this lady and her group appear to lack compassion toward other human beings, they seem to be trying to instigate situations with the people supporting the SPCA so that it would escalate to the point of one of us being arrested.
It's all up to the city now. The future lies in their hands.
Our thanks to WVTT's Derek Smith for that report. Well, during a press conference call this morning, Nate Shinagawa, Democratic candidate for New York's 23rd Congressional District, raised concerns about his opponent's lack of access to constituents by denying or not responding to debates. Reid has agreed to 3 debates with Shinagawa. Only one is being widely televised. Shinagawa has accepted offers to 7 debates in total.
The U.S. brig Niagara has arrived at Canalside in Buffalo, New York, to celebrate the bicentennial of the War of 1812. The brig is being hosted by Erie Canal Harbor Development Corporation in partnership with Buffalo Place Incorporated. She's a reproduction of the relief flagship of Commodore Oliver Hazard Perry that took part in a major naval battle in the War of 1812. Work to remove and replace a railroad crossing on Route 446 south of the village of Eldred will take place next Tuesday through Thursday, September 18th through 20th. The Western New York and Pennsylvania Railroad will be working to remove the existing railroad crossing surface and rebuild the structure through the crossing.
Well, even with the departure of first-round NBA draft pick Andrew Nicholson, the St. Bonaventure men's basketball team is continuing to receive televised matchups. 8 of the Bonnies' 16 Atlantic 10 games will be televised regionally on CBS Sports Network, including 2 back-to-back national games against Xavier on January 16th and Temple on January 19th, also on CBS Sports Network. The 8 A10 TV games are the most for St. Bonaventure in more than a decade.
The Western New York Regional Economic Development Council has announced a nearly $5 million investment in Cattaraugus and Allegheny counties. Cattaraugus County investments include the building of a 350,000-gallon water tank in Ellicottville and an expansion of existing water, sewer, power, and natural gas services, as well as lodging in Allegheny State Park. Allegheny County investments include a Wellsville waterline extension and upgrades on chairlifts at the Swain Ski Resort. Coming up on the 6 o'clock report, WVTT's World and National News Roundup, including a look at an increase in embassy security following the killing of the U.S. ambassador to Libya earlier this week. We'll tell you more next on News Channel 25 WVTT.